and relax. You're on the coaching couch.
Hello, everybody. It's Yvonne Lorraine, CEO of Innovative Visions, here today hosting the Coaching Couch with the Business Vision and Development Center. Welcome, Sharon.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Sharon Taylor, founder and CEO of the Business Vision and Development Center, and glad to be on the coaching couch.
Yes, we are so excited about coming and being able to talk to you all. Today, we are going to talk about releasing those things that are toxic in our lives. And and the reason why this is such an important topic is because we know that health and wellness is very important for everybody. So we just want to have that conversation and maybe share some information that is helpful. And when you're thinking about why you keep holding on to toxic situations and toxic people. What did you want to say, Sharon?
Where do I begin? So, yes, I have been the victim of toxic thoughts. And I have found in my personal life, when they start to, there's a before and an after. Before, I would hold on to it. I would get so worked up. I'd have a headache. I couldn't function. I couldn't do anything. And the toxic thought was like a tape recorder over and over and over. And with time, I learned to release it, and I call it changing the channel. I just flip that thought to something else so that it doesn't affect me the same way. I just release it. So Yvonne, let's talk about some things that keep us in that toxic space and how we can get past it.
Well, Sharon, actually, you just gave a perfect example. You just walked everybody through the process. So hopefully they were listening, especially when we're talking about our thoughts, because we know if we allow ourselves to think on toxic thoughts, that as we continue to think on it, the thoughts continue to grow. So, but what you also shared with people was in that space of being able to get to a place where you can switch the channel, change the thought, think something positive. And although it may sound very simple being said verbally, it definitely takes practice to be able to do it. So you may have the thoughts and you know that you don't need to continue thinking that way, but we have to be intentional to change what we're thinking about or change how we're thinking about it. And that takes practice, Sharon. So even if we do it, we want to be able to do it quicker and sooner, So if we spend 20 minutes on the toxic thoughts, we want to get to where we only spending 10 minutes on them, and get down to where 3 minutes, they gone.
Right, right, right.
So I think that is, and again, it might sound pretty simple, but we know that when we're in that head space that, and sometimes it might be writing it, whatever that thought is, put it on paper, get it out your head, put it on paper, and then determine what you need to do with it from there. Because again, if we just keep it in our head and we just keep thinking, we're not talking about it, and you probably don't want to talk to too many people about it when you're in that space, because you're just adding fuel to the fire, because you get the right person, they're going to be like, yeah.
Yeah, girl, go get it, girl. Don't let them do that to you, girl.
Exactly. So one of my ways of doing that is, instead of talking about it all the time, put it on paper to determine, the purpose of the thought for real, and whether or not you need to switch, or like Sharon said, change the channel.
Turn
So,
off the noise. Turn off
yeah,
the noise. I agree totally, Ron. But like you said, it does take some practice because most of us have a habit of holding on to thoughts that don't benefit us.
yes,
And so you have to change that habit. And it takes some work, but it can be done. Trust and
yes,
believe it can be done. I've done it, so I know other people can do it, but it takes work.
yes, it does.
You have
Yes,
to
it
be
does.
intentional.
Sharon, and that's part of the thing. Even when we talk about things that are toxic in reference to people, in reference to circumstances in our situation. So some of the things that we allow to become toxic is just because we haven't taken the time to make a decision or to
Yes.
do something about it.
Yes.
So even in those spaces, we have to take our control back pretty
Yes.
much and just make a decision, just make a choice. And sometimes that's half of the battle.
Amen.
So I'm gonna give some more example. Because sometimes, people, especially I'm talking about relationships, and when we're in negative relationships or relationships that have grown to a space of being toxic, and being able to determine when it's time to release yourself. And sometimes there's a lot of reasons why people don't, Sharon. Some people feel committed because it depends on if it's a family versus a friend versus a lover, pretty much. Some relationships, I think people feel that it's easier to remove themselves from a toxic relationship more than others. But I just want to say it doesn't really matter what type of relationship. You may just have to be different on the strategy of how you're going to cope with it, because then you just may need to set up some boundaries so that you don't allow any relationship in your life to be toxic for you.
I understand that wholeheartedly. Like you said, the strategy might be different if it's a relative versus someone I'm in a intimate relationship with. But at the end of the day, the toxicity will take you down and eat you from inside out. So you
Yeah.
still have to deal with it. Thank you.
Yes.
I like that. I like that.
Yes. Do something, make a change, write down some options, and with your circumstances. A lot of times, um, things that we don't want to deal with can become toxic to us. And the only way really around it, Sharon, is for us to actually do something about
You
it.
gotta go through it.
You
You
have
just
to.
know it's not gonna disappear. 9 times out of 10, it's just not gonna disappear.
No.
And it's just gonna grow and grow and get louder and bigger until somebody blows up. And typically it's gonna be so
Right.
deal with it head on, get through, confront it, get through it, move past it.
Yes. And another thing I like to share with our listeners, when you have a situation, a lot of times it can be a bigger situation, excuse me, or we're just thinking about that end result and we can't see how we're going to get there at
Yes.
all. We don't
Yes.
see the light at all. So the recommendation is just take a piece of it. Don't try to deal with the whole situation. And that's why I'm saying write it down. Write down that what that situation is, the things that you need to do or that you think you need to do. And if you need some support, then that's where the coaching can come in. If you don't have anybody that you can necessarily talk to and you need somebody so that you can just hear yourself talk it out, your best friend might be the person for you, but you have to determine that, because just keeping it in your head and just trying to look at the whole picture can be very challenging and keep you stuck. And we don't want you to stay stuck. We want you to pick a small piece. Just get started, one step at a time,
And
one
then
task at a time.
And live your best life, baby. Live your best life.
Why you doing it? And that's the thing, Sharon. And when we talk about it, yeah, you going through. We all are going through things, and all going through something at some point in life. And if there's anybody out there who's never had any problems, no situations, and you're just happy 124/7 every day, 365 days of the year, please contact us as soon as possible because we need to get what you're on for real. But yeah, so again, Sharon, just wanted to let people remind people that those toxic things or the things, thoughts and things that we allow to become toxic in our lives, um, they don't have to be permanent. It's a temporary situation. Don't make permanent decisions on your temporary situations. Keep moving through the process.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here again. Contact us through the Business Vision Development Center. We are definitely on YouTube, and you can do what, Sharon?
Like, share, and subscribe. Ding, ding.
Yes. And do that today, y'all. And how about y'all comment? Just let us know that you listen, little hashtag, replay, something. Let us know that you heard. And we appreciate you listening.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Yes. Thank you, Sharon. Bye.
Like, share, and subscribe.